Hey guys, I am That Hippie, and in case you didn't know, I read a lot of fanfiction stories on fanfiction.net, and this is not anything they have ever asked me to do. This is something I have wanted to do for a while, and I wanted to give you guys a top 10 list on my personal favorite stories on fanfiction.net. Starting off at number 10, a story that's relatively recently published and updated. It's called Devil and Guardian Naruto Uzumaki. It's a Final Fantasy X and Naruto crossover story with some DMC elements thrown in, and it's deeply emotional, very well written, I might add, and I want to see it keep going. It was published July 12th and was last updated July 20th, so it's very, very new, but it's just a very interesting concept that I want to see more of. Coming in at number 9 is a story called Escaping Hades, which is a Naruto and Mass Effect crossover story, which is written in kind of interesting sci-fi adventure Naruto elements thrown in there. And as you can tell, a lot of these stories are going to be Naruto because that's kind of what I read the most. But so that's number 9. I haven't seen it updated recently, but I want it to be updated sometime soon. But coming in at number 8 is called Avatar of Discord. And no, it's not a darker telling of Avatar the Last Airbender. No, it's a darker telling of Naruto, where he harnesses the power of Discord to use against everyone who's ever wronged him. And it is an absolutely brutal telling of Naruto, and it is glorious. Amazing. Now, moving on, number 7 is a story called Dark Destiny, which is a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic story of a AU sort of deal, of what would happen if Bastila had failed to capture Dark Revan. So, yeah, it's kind of neat, kind of interesting, a little bit. Now, the next story on mine is a little bit biased because it's one of the ones I've written, but it's the Devil Arm of the Hokage, which is my Naruto Enchanted Arms crossover story. I just really like the premise behind it, and I'm so glad that the guy who posted the challenge on the website has allowed me to write the story of it because it's very interesting, and I'm throwing how I think it should have gone. And coming in after that, we have a little story called Inhuman, which is a Devil May Cry Underworld crossover romancy kind of story. It is a newer story. It was published January 11th, and it was updated January 18th of this year. Mind you, there hasn't been any updates after that point, but it is a kind of romance story between Dante from Devil May Cry. Yeah, the one from Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4, not the one from the reboot. And Celine, the main character of the Underworld franchise. And it's very interesting, and I like it. And it's kind of a cooler kind of thing. It's just, it's fun. Next after that is a story called Child of the Virus. It's a prototype Mass Effect crossover sort of deal story where an OC character, an original created character, which is a character that's been created by the author, has the Blacklight virus, was given it by Alex Mercer, survives until the point and product and placement of the whole Mass Effect series. And it's really interesting to see how that includes. You get to see a little bit of the First Contact War, you get to see a bit after that, and it's really kind of neat. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And I believe that was number 5 or number 4. We're just going to go number 4. So coming in at number 3 is a story called New Beginnings, which is a Star Wars Mass Effect crossover where Revan gets blasted from his universe into the Mass Effect universe. And it's a kind of a really, really interesting story because Revan's interactions between him and the author's idea of Mass Effect, which their version of Shepard was a female, and she's a very tough grit and nails, but still very high charismatic sort of shepherd. So it's kind of cool. Coming in at number 2 on my list. No, coming in at number 3 on my list is the Dark Star Legacy, which is a Star Wars: The Old Republic, the online one. It's a tale talking about the Dark Star Legacy. They're also in this Star Wars: The Old Republic book. There's mentioning of some of the Dark Star Legacy people in here. I haven't gotten very far in this book yet, but I will be finishing that later. So that's kind of cool in a way of you get to see how all those characters react with each other, and it's kind of interesting. And here's where most people are going to get shocked, because with my number 2 pick is a story that hasn't been updated in a while at all. It's called Devil May Cry's Stairway to Heaven. And the reason why this is going to shock people, this is a continuation of what would have happened directly after the events of the Devil May Cry DMC reboot game. And the reason why that's such a shocker to people is, while I like that game in the fact of its gameplay and its art style and the kind of linear-ish story, I don't like that game's version of Dante. But somehow this story's version of him makes him a bit more human-ish. Like, he's a bit easier to connect to. He's a bit easier going, though he's still kind of aggressive and abrasive at times. And here, finishing out with my number 1 story, it's a little thing called, and for those of you that thought I was going to say a little thing called love, you need to walk the fuck away and get off my channel, because I don't believe in that. It's another one of my own stories, and I know I do this a lot, but it's one that I really do like, and I really did try to put a lot of heart into it, but I haven't been able to finish it. It's called Kingdom Hearts Fractured Hearts. It's my interpretation on what I wanted the next Kingdom Hearts game to be. Yeah, it's a little bit darker, it's a little bit more action oriented than the rest of the Kingdom Hearts games, but it's also still got the same kind of brand of humor. I haven't really ran into that many Disney characters in the story yet, but that will be happening because it is a Kingdom Hearts game. The main character of the story, whose name is Jay Fear, just met up with Sora. And to give you guys a little brief on my story, I published it October 10, 2014. The last time I updated was December 3rd, 2014. So, I mean, I haven't gotten to update it recently at all because I've just been too busy. I do really want to go in there and do that and to get you guys kind of a tidbit of what it's about. It's about these creatures called amans, which are people born when one with a strong heart feels one emotion and one emotion only. But what were to happen if the strongest heart feels nothing but fear? Then fear is born. But is it the kind of fear one would expect? And how could the very same heart that just felt fear feel courage at the same time? It's a mainly OC story, but we'll have mentions and tie-ins of other characters in later chapters. That is a reading of the summary of the story, and it is hands down my favorite story to both work on and to read occasionally, because I will read through my stories and go through and change some things and spelling errors. And oh yeah, I took my partial out because my partial doesn't like to let me drink out of bottles very well. And for those of you who know me, my dedicated fan base of 4 people, gotta have this stuff. I just gotta. And I know a lot of you are gonna be upset with me because I'm not making eye contact with my video camera on this story, on this video. I'm sorry, I was reading stuff off. I apologize. I should have kept looking at you and making eye contact, and I'm very sorry. But to be completely honest, some people do find the fact that I don't blink very often kind of creepy. I apologize. I don't mean to be creepy. I just don't blink. Okay, now I'm kind of trying to be creepy. But anyway, guys, if you want to talk to me more, you can comment or you can send me a PM. You can go to my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page dedicated to my Dad Hippie channel. It is literally Dat Hippie. It's the official YouTube page for me here on you. It's my official Facebook page for me here on YouTube. Sorry, I got my words mixed up. If you want, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Dat Hippie. So go ahead, leave a like if you enjoyed. Go ahead and subscribe. See my channel if you want to see more videos. Anyway, stay cool, stay in school, and stay away from them drugs.